So, let's just begin to get present to the present moment. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to feel your feet touching the ground. Even wiggle your toes. Wake up all the proprioceptors in the bottom of your feet, all the little cells that tell you where you are in space. And if my feet were hands and I could show them to you easily, you'd see that they're sort of in a V shape. So find your V shape that works for you. And even that is an okay V shape if that feels better. There really is no such thing as bad Tai Chi. In fact, if I move this body part and you move this body part, it really doesn't matter and I don't care. Now, find a way to spread your weight totally out across the soles of both your feet. And it's been my experience that the easiest way to do that is to make sure that your knees are not locked in the back. In fact, my weight is so in my heels right now I can wiggle my toes without any effort. But just let your knees be soft enough that your tailbone begins to naturally tuck under a little bit and your weight kind of spreads out across the soles of both your feet. Outstanding. All right. Now, what to do with the hands? That's easy. First, just let them hang down at the end of your arms. Did I tell you that the best way to do Tai Chi Cha or Tai Chi or any Tai Chi is with the effort of no effort? No, I forgot to tell you that. So that's the truth. Now that you notice what your arms feel like when they're just hanging there, just lift the fingers. So it's almost like you're resting your palms on an invisible countertop that suddenly became available to you in front of your body there. And if I didn't have a black sweater on, you'd see that there's a bend in my arm. Like, not a hard bend, but just a softness there. Okay? So let's feel the body at rest for just a moment. Just kind of noticing all the things that are normally swirling around in there, all the flow that's naturally happening at all times, even when your body is totally still. There's breath flowing, there's blood pumping, there's thoughts flowing, like a river. And just remind yourself that the body is a very safe place to be under any circumstances. It's the only thing you really own in life. And now we're going to get ready to do something called rocking motion. So you're going to put a little bit more weight into this leg so you can step out with this one. It's very easy. Here we go. Stepping out. And we're going to turn the toes a little bit closer to forward. Now you're going to send your weight backwards. And the easiest way to do that is lengthen the knees and place your hands back there. And here we go. Nice. I'm going to turn sideways for folks in YouTube land who aren't as familiar with this type of Tai Chi as you are, Mike. Easiest way to do rocking motion without using any effort is to simply allow your weight to shift all the way forward and all the way back. Now, most of the time, the knees are soft like they were when you were standing at rest. But at the very ends of the weight shift here and here, you just let the knees lengthen. And that kind of really ends the weight shift and actually even brings your toes and even your heels, just peels them off the floor. maybe enough to just slide a couple of credit cards or maybe even a deck of cards underneath. Not much. But there's no need to use any muscles here or lift or work or pull anything. And speaking of not pulling, the arms are simply flowing along with the weight shift. See if you can allow your body to really move in a very organic, totally integrated way. The weight shift kind of blow the arms up there like willow branches and then kind of blow them back. Face you again. Let's do a couple more. Nice. And on this last one, we're going to head back the same direction we came from. And just float back down to where your feet are, the soles of your feet. Just feel them in touch with either the insides of your shoes or the floor. Notice that sensation for a few moments. And feel all that energy you just kicked up while doing rocking motion. Feel it kind of settling down in your bones. I don't know about you, but you know what, Mike? Yesterday it was only 20-something degrees here, and today it's 50-something. So I'm suddenly warm. And I just heard somebody dinging me. And I guess I've become so sensitive to people not being able to get into my rooms that now I'm hyper vigilant. So I'm going to let it go. All right. From the position of feeling the body at rest, just let the hands float down towards each other, like magnets coming close to each other, especially in the heels of the hand. And now just allow your body to sink. And the sinking will send your lower arms out like little tiny bird wings. Nice. And the rising pulls them back. Now we're going to draw a little circle in the air with each wingtip. And then flow back. Let's do that whole thing again. I'll show you from the side. Flap the little wings. Let the sinking send your hands out. The rising, pull them back. And here comes the circle in the air. Nice. One more time, the whole series. Sink and flap the little wing. Sink and flap the little wings. Sink and circle. And then simply float back down to rest. Again, feeling all the energy you just activated and circulated slowly settling down in the marrow of your bones. And then let's sink down together. Shift into this leg. Shift all your weight into this leg. And extend the other leg because it's empty now. It's like you're sticking your heel out on a sheet of ice because you don't know if you're going to break through, so you're just sticking it out there. Hands up to about chest height, palms facing each other again. Again, whenever the palms face each other, you might feel a gentle, sort of an interesting feeling between them. Let's do bass drum. Here we go. Nice. Feel your fingers circling around that big old high school marching band bass drum strapped right to your chest. Here we go. You can see it better from the side, probably. Feeling your body moving as one integrated organism. You feel your rear leg extending, elongating, and emptying, while your front leg fills up. We're going to do one more. And then just stand up on that back leg. Let it pull everything in. Feel the body at rest. Now we're going to do the other side. So sink down and shift into the other leg now. And let the empty leg extend. Hands back up the same height. And here we go. But here's something that's really important. And something we in our bodies have in common with the entire universe. There's this ball of energy right in the gravitational center of our bodies called the Dantian. And it's constantly in flux between expansion and contraction. Here it goes expanding, and now it's contracting. And the whole body is really following along for the ride. Well, more like following a parade. Let's do one more. And floating down to rest. Just taking a moment to notice your body at rest. Energy getting ready to burst forth. And now we're going to sink down again and into this leg. Let your empty leg extend. Let's turn the palms over. We're going to do something called Daughter on the Mountaintop. Here we go. Nice. So the reason why that whole Dantian thing is important is because, everything in the universe is in constant flux between expansion and contraction. That's one of the main governing principles of the universe, actually. So when you're moving in this way, you are remembering how to move in ways that we've known how to move since the moment we were born, but we often forget. Let's do two more. Last one. Flowing down to the soles of the feet. Feeling your feet touching the ground and then shifting over to the other side. Feel the weight shift, sending the hands up the mountain, and then the weight shift pulling them down again. Now I do tend to mirror when I'm facing a camera, so you might notice that even though I changed which foot was sticking out, I didn't switch my hands. So if you want to get real precise about it, when we do Daughter on the Mountain, the hand that's on the side of the body, the same side of the body as the heart, I should say, is the one that's typically closer. But if you get your rights and lefts confused, so what? Nobody cares. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme. We're going to do one more. Nice. Floating back to rest. Feeling all that energy seeping into all the cracks and crevices in your body, just like water always finds a way in. Now we're going to do a movement called Daughter in the Valley. This one is complementary to the one we just did. It's non-identical twin sister. you to see this moving from the side. See how the weight shift sends the hands up and the shift back pulls them back. And you might even see my dantian right here, expanding and causing that curve in the hands, and then sort of flattening out. You might even see it in the curve of my back. It gets curvier here, and then a little flatter. Let's do one more. Let's do the other side. You know, ancient Chinese medicine, well, it dates back several thousand years. And ancient Chinese medicine has been theorizing about meridians for eons, and our energetic heart, the dantian, forever. You know, we're just now beginning to catch up with all of that in Western science. A couple years ago at the University of, I want to say Seoul University, they did an amazing study using contrast dye and MRIs and imaging equipment, and they mapped out the entire meridian system, of course, proving what everybody already knew. It was there. Let's do one more. Feeling the body at rest. I'm going to face you again. Let's do a move. I'm not going to tell you the name. You're going to figure it out by watching what we're doing. So sink down, shift into this leg. Let your empty leg extend, hands up to shoulder height. Okay, here we go. Let the forward weight shift push the hands forward, and the backward weight shift pull them back. Yup, it's called push-pull. Anyway, the other way in which Western medicine is finally catching up with Eastern theory is only in the last decade have we begun to realize how the gut is actually the gateway to our health. But the ancients knew it. Every ancient culture has some name for this energetic heart, and a lot of the names sound the same. In Chinese, it's dantian. In Japanese, it's tanden. There's definitely a very important function of our gut. You know, we always say, trust your gut. But then we usually try to talk ourselves out of those gut feelings, right? We're going to do one more. Do the other side. Sinking down. Shift into the leg you didn't sink into before. Lengthen the leg you didn't lengthen before, and let's flow. Here's another governing principle of the universe that the body is following along when doing Tai Chi. Circularity. Everything in the universe always comes around again. You could call it orbits, or you could call it a day. You could call it seasons. You could call it habit energies, but things always come around again. We always have another opportunity to experience them a different way. Look how circularly the body is moving here. This is our last one. Soles of the feet. Let's shift gears here. I'm going to face you a little bit, and let's do a few of the side-to-side movements. These are so much fun. Okay. Same way to move, only instead of this way, we're going to go this way. Okay? So let's play around with that. We're still going to sink down. We're still going to shift over, probably the same leg you have been shifting over. Only now we're going to turn the whole upper body that way too. So here we go. Notice what's happening with the shoulders when that happens, especially this guy. Here we go. Look at that. This shoulder came forward. This one went back, okay? So just put your hand up here and then put your other hand right in front of it. It's like you're holding a ball back there. And look, you're already sort of wound up and ready to go. So this leg is so empty. Just let it sort of sneak out to the side. And here we go. Nice. This is called carry the ball to the side. And you can really see why. We're going to do one more rotation. And then just stand up on the leg that was already filling up. We're going to go back the other way so that I don't walk off camera, right? Sink down, shift over to the other leg, turn the body, put the hand up in the back, and then put the other hand in front of it. It's like we're holding a ball back there. Look, we're already wound up. Let the empty leg sneak out to the side, and here we go. 3 rotations in the other direction. Look at all the circles here. Circles, circles everywhere. Stand up, feeling the feet touching the floor. Let's go back the other way. Nice. Stand up on the filling up leg. And then float down to the soles of the feet. And then wind up again. And then unravel yourself. Nice. Stand up on the filling up leg. Feeling the feet touching the floor for a moment. And let's do one more set. Nice. It's really lovely flowing with you, Mike. Stand up on the filling up leg. Feeling the body at rest. And then beginning again. Little moments of mindfulness built in right in the middle of the movement. What a gift. How often do you really feel your feet touching the floor throughout the regular day? Feel them now. Just take a moment to feel them. And let's go right into passing clouds. It's going to look exactly like what we just did, only the hands are going to move independently. Okay? All right. And we're going to just wind up on the same side we were probably going to wind up if we did another set of carry the ball to the side. Sink down and shift and turn and just let that hand rise. Like I'm high-fiving a wall over there. Okay? Leave this hand here. We're just going to give it a job to ground itself until it's ready to do something. Okay? Let the empty leg sneak out. And we're going to just glide back and forth for a few moments just with one hand for the benefit of any people who are really new to this watching down the road. Look, same movement we just did. The only difference is I just turn the hand very gently right here to face my face. You can even think about dredging your fingers through chocolate and then licking them on the way back if you like. That's how I remember to turn the hand. Nice. We're going to just let this guy rest. We're going to go up to the other side and let's go the other way. Now Now, we just did carry the ball to the side, so I know for a fact you already know how to do these movements, but I'm just reminding your hands how to do them independently before we put them together. Soften out the transition as much as you can. The effort of no effort, remember? Let's do one more. Guess what? The other hand that was at rest is going to jump in a non-jumpish way. Just kind of softly move in. Nice. Beautiful. That's great. And notice how when the body turns, it kind of carries the hands along with it. From here to here, and then they just change positions. And here to here, and then they just change. Nice. Less to do, right? You don't have to do anything. The body just turns them for you. Nice. And we're going to do one more set. And we're going to move back. Nice. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, you've already gotten so good at this perpetual motion thing, back and forth, this forward, backward sway, only side to side and never ending, that we're going to sort of play around with that a little bit more. Let's do something called pulling taffy, which is like, you know what, rub your hands together and sort of play around with the space between your hands and with pulling the energy between your hands. Yeah. Like maybe there's a piece of bread and each one of your hands is like a spatula, and you're just smearing some peanut butter on top and the bottom of the bread. You know, smear, running your hands over a piece of silk. Yeah. That's what's going to happen with your hands when you're doing these pulling taffy gestures. You're pulling energy between your palms. And if you felt something, it's not your imagination. It really is there. It's called polarity. All right, so let's do it one-handed, okay? And let the arms just hang down. Let's do that same sink, shift, and turn. Down, over, and then turn. And look what happened to this shoulder. It came forward. So just place that arm across the belly. The shoulder was kind of sending the arm there anyway, so just let it go where it wants to go. This leg is empty though, right? So let it sneak out to the side. And then we're going to shift into the empty leg. And the arm that was across the belly will just open like a door. Like there's hinges there. It just went, meow. And then we're going to just stand up on that filling up leg. Rest for a moment. Let's do the other side. You'll know which arm to put across your belly when you sink, shift, and turn. Here we go. Sink, shift, turn. Ta-da. Opening up the creaky door. And rest. Let's do a couple more sets of one hand. Nice. Other side. It's like if I want to throw a frisbee that way, I have to wind up first. And I just very mindfully toss it. Great. All right, now we're going to do two hands. Here we go. Just put the other hand on top. And you're going to feel that smearing feeling we talked about a minute ago. Or maybe the sensation of your hands running along a piece of silk, top and bottom, all the way down. All right, I know you like this one, Mike. That top hand, it's going to ground you. Think of it as petting a cat from the head down to the tail. Yes. In fact, we're pretty much moving like a cat when we do Tai Chi, right? Cats always walk very slowly and mindfully. It's very rare that they act herky-jerky. Nice. Let's do one more set with both hands. Back again. A little moment of mindfulness built in between the movements. Feel your feet touching the ground. The energy you just activated and circulated, feel it settling down in your bones. Now we're going to do that same gesture perpetually. We'll do it with one hand first. Just copy me. And if you want to do it with two hands, Mike, because I know you know it so well, that's fine too. But here we go. It looks just the same, only we don't stop moving. Slightly fuller waist shift here, though. Waist turn, I should say. Weight shift, waist turn. So turn so far away from that trailing leg that the heel actually leaves the floor, and then just put it right back down again. Oh, yeah. I think I see you saying you gotta go. It was great having you here. Thank you for coming. I will see you again soon, my friend. All right, we're going to add the second arm right now. Thank you, too. It's great having you here. So just feel your hands running through the energy, or feel the soft, silky energy flowing through your fingertips. And it's like a long curtain right from here all the way down. Just run their hands down along the silk. Soft. Let's do one more set. And we're going to end right here. Nice. Let's do another movement called working the pulley. You remember how when we did passing clouds, there were those moments when your hands weren't doing anything. The turning of the body was moving them. You're going to see that here again. All right, so here we go. I'm going to turn a little sideways because my little TV studio here is small. I don't want to whack my hand on the wall. All right. So if you're turned sideways too, all right, we're going to sink down. Just sink into the leg that's closer to the TV set, okay? And then just lengthen the other leg. We might both be going the same direction, but if we're not, who cares? Anyway, whichever leg is lengthened, the hand on that side is going to go up in front of the shoulder, okay? The other hand's going to face the sky. So when you go forward into this leg, when it fills up, right, this hand will go forward too. But the waist is going to turn a little bit, and oh, you just saw that. It's going to actually pull this elbow behind you a little bit. And so I'm going to shut up now. Just copy me, and it's going to be fine. Here we go. Nice. So this movement is so interesting because it is both a forward back and a side-to-side move, and it's a continuous move too. It's sort of like a combination of everything we've done today. It's almost like there's two old-fashioned clotheslines right next to your body. And there's a pulley in front of each shoulder and one behind each shoulder. You know those old-fashioned clotheslines that have pulleys with strings that attach them? Watch the fingers tracking along the strings and then just running around the pulley. You see it? We're going to do one more. And then just float back to rest. Feeling the body resting for just a moment. Of course, there's so much going on inside, even at rest. And let's sink down and into the other leg. Lengthen out whichever leg is empty. Lift up the hand on that side. Turn the other hand over, and here we go. Nice. Feel the turning of the body, the turning and the shifting of the body, moving the hands for you from here to here, and then they just change positions. This is just like passing clouds, only the pulleys are moving from front to back and back to front again, rather than from side to side. All the circularity here. Even the weight shift is circuitous. Let's do 2 more sets. And last one. And let's end with a little more rocking motion. You're going to put all your weight in one of your legs so you can just step out a little bit with the other. I typically step out with my left foot, but it really doesn't matter. Lengthen your knees and send your hands behind you. Look, that already put your weight in your heels. My toes are so light I can wiggle them. And here we go. I'll face you a little bit. I didn't even mention anything about breathing, but you probably hear me breathing. I've been told I'm kind of a heavy breather. I think it's the headset. But it is true that when I do Tai Chi, I tend to relax to such a degree that I breathe slowly and more deeply. You certainly don't have to sync the movements up to your breathing in any way when you do this particular style, by the way. Just do whatever comes natural to you. The most important thing is that you breathe. That you breathe in a particular way. And you might find that the movements begin to sync up with your breath, and that's okay, because that will cause you to move slowly. You know, if you can't move slow, you actually don't know the movements. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. And if you do sync up with your breath, if you don't go slowly, you're going to hyperventilate, and that won't feel good. Feeling the arms, billowing in the breeze of the dantian that's filling up and expanding and emptying out and contracting. Let's do a couple more. This last one, we're going to head back the same direction we came from. I came from the right, so I moved back to your right. You got your left and right confused, so what? Feeling the body at rest. Even though we flowed back to stillness just now, notice that there is a lot more than nothing going on inside the body. And remember that the body is always a very safe place to be. I'm very grateful to you for coming to class today. But a lot of my fellow teachers have been ending their classes with a positive thought for the day. I think that's a really cool idea. So I've been practicing that. Did you know you get really good at what you practice? Have you ever heard me say that? So here are my fabulous parting thoughts. I actually looked it up. Did you know that today is National Tortilla Chip Day? I was so excited when I heard that because I'm also a certified nutritional counselor. So I'm always thinking about food, you know, and frankly, anything that's made of avocados, in my opinion, is the bomb. And so of course, when I thought about National Tortilla Chip Day, I started thinking about guacamole. But, I just said a moment ago, we get really good at what we practice most, right? And in fact, that may sound like an ancient Chinese saying, and the truth is it is. But if you think about it, that is such common sense, but we really don't think about all that too much. But do think about it for a minute, okay? What that really means is if you really practice a lot, stuff like reliving things that happened long, long ago, or self-criticism for not doing things perfectly. I really think that's silly because there's no such thing as perfect, right? Or if you practice self-doubts a lot, or even negative self-talk, you're going to get really good at that. So instead, why not practice something that enables you to experience everything as cool, fine, no problem, maybe even downright spicy from time to time, right? Right? So where I'm really going with this is to say that I'm talking about Tai Chi, right? Of course, I mean, you came to a Tai Chi class. Of course, I'm going to talk about Tai Chi. But one of the coolest things about Tai Chi is that it's one of the easiest ways to become increasingly comfortable with simply being in the moment, where rotten stuff from the past is no longer happening, and where rotten or scary stuff, which may or may not happen in the future, has not happened yet. And what I really mean is, nothing is wrong when you are 100% in the moment because nothing is happening. If you can find a way to be 100% where your feet are, you will always be in the present moment. So that is the really greatest reason to practice Tai Chi. And better yet, the more we practice Tai Chi, the more things simply begin to feel more and more in general like they're cool, fine, no problem, maybe even spicy. So keep coming to class. And you know what? Keep practicing even when you don't come to class. Because remember, there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi. No Tai Chi police are going to come and take you away if you're doing it wrong, because there is no such thing as wrong. Okay. And you know what? Even if you don't want to come, I don't want you to feel like I pushed you into this thing. So no pressure, man. And I know I just blended a whole bunch of funny little dialects together. I do want to show you one last thing, though. Let me share my screen. Maybe this will help you remember what today was. Ta-da! It is National Tortilla Chip Day, but why don't you think of it as National Spicy Guacamole Day? And I hope you have a really good rest of your Wednesday. And thank you again for coming. And I hopefully look forward to seeing you again next week. Okay.